Hey guys, so today we're going to do exercise 1, pages 291 to 292, which is found in chapter 13. So firstly, we're given the following information. We have a selling price of 145 Rand and a variable cost of 105 Rand. We sold 8,000 units and our fixed cost is 330,000 Rand. So firstly, it asks us to calculate our contribution margin per unit, which is your selling price minus your variable cost per unit. 145 Rand minus 105, and that gives us 40, which is answer choice A. And just to clear up something, your selling price per unit is the same thing as your selling price. Okay, there's only they're either going to ask you for your total sales value, which is your selling price times the units you sold, or they're just going to ask you for your selling price per unit. So if they just say selling price, you just know it's per unit, or if they mention sales, you know it's the total. Okay, let's move on. So second, it says how many bags would need to be sold to break even. In this case, it says how many bags, not how many rands. That's how you know you're calculating your break even point in units, all right, which is your fixed cost divided by your contribution margin per unit. Once you substitute your values, it gives you answer choice B. So the next thing we do is we calculate our break-even point in rands. So to calculate your break-even point in rands, you would usually use your fixed cost divided by your contribution margin ratio, okay? However, in this case, we haven't worked out a contribution margin ratio. And I'm going to show you a way now in which you can do it without calculating your contribution margin ratio. If you were to use your contribution margin, your break-even point in rands with your normal fixed cost divided by your contribution margin ratio, it would give you an answer with a decimal, all right? And in most cases, you don't want to use a decimal answer. Okay, so instead of using that, we're going to use calculate our break-even value. So your break-even value is equal to your break-even point in rands. Okay, so let's work this out together. Your break-even value is equals to your break-even quantity times your selling price, and your break-even quantity is equal to your break-even point in units. So again, you substitute your values and it's going to give you answer choice C. Next, it says how many bags would need to be sold to earn a minimum profit of 8,000 per month. Again, so now it's talking about the number of units that has to be sold in order to earn a minimum profit. So we are talking about a target profit, which is your fixed cost plus your target profit divided by your contribution margin per unit. And you substitute those values and it will give you answer choice D. The next thing we're going to do is calculate our contribution margin. Our margin of safety ratio. So your margin of safety ratio, the moment they say ratio, you need to know it's a percent. If they say a percent, it's a ratio. It's nearly the same thing. Every time you're just going to have the percentage sign. And so to do this calculation, it's your total sales minus your break-even sales divided by your total sales value times 100. Your break-even sales is equal to your break-even value, okay? And your total sales value is equal to your total sales. Substitute those formulas and it's going to give you answer choice A. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to calculate our net profit or loss. So to do that, we're going to have to use the information that we were given, and you're going to have to draw up your marginal format table or whatever it's called. All right, so we took 145 times 8,000 units and it gave us total sales of 1,160,000, and then we did the same for the variable cost. We took our sales minus your variable cost, it gave us a contribution, and your contribution minus your fixed cost gives you your profit or your loss. In this case, it's negative 10,000, and so this company is at a loss of 10,000. Okay. they are at a loss. All right, let's continue. Okay, so the next thing they ask us to do, all right, is to calculate, is to do proposal number 1. So let's go through this together. I want to show you the information. So for proposal number 1, it tells you here that you are increasing, you have an increase of 6,000 in advertising cost, and you have a new, and you've sold now 10,000 units. Okay, so you have two new things. So the first thing that we would do here, all right, is you're going to calculate our new sales, amount of sales. Remember, the previous sales was at 8,000 units. This is now at 10,000. So you take 145 times 10,000 units and it gives you a new value. And what you do for sales, you need to do for your variable cost. So you take 105 times 10,000 and you have your new variable cost. Sales minus variable cost gives us a new contribution margin of 400,000. All right. Then it told you that we have 6,000 in advertising cost. Advertising cost is a fixed cost. So 330,000 plus 6,000 is 336,000. Contribution margin minus your fixed cost gives you a profit of 64,000 Rand. So that would be answer choice C. The second proposal, it tells you here, right, for proposal number 2, to reduce the selling price by 10% and the sales in units will increase by 20%, and there's no change in total fixed cost and variable cost per unit. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is you're going to have to calculate your new selling price per unit. So you're going to take the original value 145 times 1 plus 0.15. Why are we going 1 plus 0. Oops, sorry, reading the wrong thing. Yeah, so you're going to take your original selling price of 145, right, and you have 1 minus 0.1. Why? Because it says reduce the selling price by 10%. Your selling price is already set at 100%, so when you're reducing it, you're minusing. All right, so 1 minus 0.1 and you times this, it's going to give you this value. Secondly, you have your new sales volume, which is your units. And again, you already have your units at 100%. You add in 20%. So 8,000 times 1 plus 0.20, it gives you 9,600. Then just do your table again. And as you do your table, you'll find that this company for this one is at a loss of negative 85,200, which is answer choice D. And finally, we have proposal 3, which says to improve the quality by increasing your variable cost of production by 5%, and this will result in an increase of 15% in the selling price. But the number of sleeping bags, in this case our units, would decrease to 6,000. So again, you enter the new information. We have a new selling price per unit, 145. Sorry. All right. We have new selling price per unit, which is 145 times 1 plus 0.15. All right, because it tells you here that our selling price increases, and you have your variable cost, which also increases by 0.05. So again, once you do that and you put the values into your table, then we find that this company is at a profit of 9,000 Rand, which is answer choice A. Okay, thank you guys. Hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.